Don't start when you're ready, because by then you're already too late. You have to start now. None of the greats were good when they first started. Nobody knew what they were doing, but eventually they went from beginners just trying to find their way to experts that everybody looks up to. So many people use the fact that they aren't good as an excuse to do nothing, that they just need a little bit more time to prepare, but they don't realize that the only thing that's stopping them is themselves. You are probably one of them, putting something off right now because you don't think you're good enough. That is the attitude that keeps you where you are. It's okay to fail because it teaches you things that you never would have learned otherwise. Even though this feels simple and cliche, it really works. It doesn't matter what your goal is, whether your goal is YouTube, your career, or starting a business. The process is always the same. You have to just start. Now, I'm not going to claim that I'm perfect at this. In fact, I made the same mistake, and this channel is a great example of that. You see, I started this channel about a month ago now, and the vision was always to make content like this, where I talk about random stuff over MCSR. If you look at my channel right now, you'll see that all the previous content that I have is not that. The reason for that is simple. I fell into this same trap. I told myself that I would start once I got better at recording, that I rambled too much, that my speedruns were too long, and that my videos would run over. But then I realized that I was never going to improve because I wasn't making the videos that I actually wanted to create, and I was just stalling for time. But the thing is, even though I waited to start my true content, I didn't wait to start uploading. And I'll be the first to admit that those videos suck. The titles and thumbnails aren't catchy, and the content is lacking. And although that sounds like a bad thing, they gave me valuable information that I wouldn't have otherwise. My first video got snatched by the algorithm. I got pushed to over 12,000 people on the first day, but literally nobody clicked it. And at first that was discouraging, but then I realized something. My current methods weren't working, and so I changed some things. Every video I make and every time I stream improves my skills. They all teach me something that my previous uploads didn't, and something that I would have never learned had I not started. This video here that you're watching now will be okay at best, but my hope is that by video 50, my videos will be good, and by video 100, they're great. Can't guarantee that I'll be successful, but I can guarantee that I'll keep trying. This doesn't just apply to my channel though. I learned this in my personal life as well, mostly in the start of high school when I wanted to decide what I wanted to do for my career. You see, in high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet, but I knew that I loved to work with computers. So I took my free time and I started. I tried stuff I knew I could turn into a career. I took programming classes, I tried robotics, and I did a lot of research on different career paths. Eventually, I found cybersecurity, and I realized that although I liked some of the other stuff like programming and robotics, I loved cybersecurity. And so I started learning more. I listened to podcasts, I watched YouTube videos, I learned everything I could about cybersecurity and how I wanted to specialize. Fast forward to about a year ago, when I was in my second semester of junior year in college, and I knew that I needed to start looking for a job. If you are in the tech space at all, you know that computer science and cybersecurity are extremely competitive fields that have a reputation for having the most turnover. I had no certifications, no previous experience. My school's cybersecurity program was lacking. I was competing against thousands of people that had all three of those things. I wasn't about to let that stop me, though. I started applying to any and all job opportunities: tech, cybersecurity, IT help desk, anything I could find. And while doing that, I also looked for local opportunities. I cold called all the security companies in my area, went to cybersecurity events, and asked everyone I knew if they knew someone. 2 months and 100 plus applications later, I still had nothing. But then I found some potential opportunities. There was a company that was starting an 8 week intro to cybersecurity class, which offered an internship, so I applied. I met a cybersecurity professional at my church who worked for a company that was at my school's job fair. And then I found another guy who worked at a Fortune 500 company doing sales who said he'd ask around and see if they needed anything for cybersecurity. At the end of that 8 week class, I had only gotten about 5 interviews, so I was beginning to get a little demotivated. I still had no offers and nothing seemed to be moving anywhere. I kept thinking someone else is probably more qualified and was considering giving up and trying again next summer. And then, literally overnight, I got 3 offers. Three completely unrelated companies called me. Turns out all three of those personal networking connections came through. The intro to cyber class, the guy from my church, and the Fortune 500 company all called me offering an internship. I had put the work in to meet the people and make connections, and with a little bit of luck and God's grace, I was able to get an offer to work as an intern over the summer. I would have never gotten any of those opportunities had I not went out and asked. It has been a year since then, and I am now working full time with a fulfilling career ahead of me, and none of that would have ever happened had I got into my own head about the fact that there are people more qualified than me. The truth is, it's easy to not do anything, and that's why so many people sit and wait on their dreams. But if you want to live a life that's fulfilling to you, you have to go out there and take it yourself. 5 years from now, you're going to wish you had started today, whether that's YouTube, your career, the gym, or starting a business, you're going to be bad. You're going to make things you're embarrassed by. You're going to fail. But every person you look up to already went through that stage. The only difference between them and everyone else is that they started. So don't start when you're ready. Start now. Thanks again for watching up to this point. This video is me taking that first step that I was talking about in this video, and I think it's pretty obvious. I expected my rant to take about 8 to 12 minutes, and I finished it in 5, so that's definitely something I need to work on. I probably need to add some things to speak on, or I need to speed up my speed runs, because if you haven't noticed, this has all been on 1.5 times speed, and I'm still done way before the speed run finishes. There are definitely some things I could improve on, though. My overworld was pretty slow. I mean, you it's probably not as obvious because it's in 1.5x, but it took me a minute to kill some of those sheep. Um, I wasted a few seconds with the piglin in the bastion, just waiting for it to de-aggro. Definitely could have gotten it in the hole faster and would have been out of there faster. And just overall, my movement and crafting is pretty slow. I've been meaning to learn search crafting because that would probably speed up my crafting by quite a bit. And I have some hotkeys I've been working on to see if I can improve those, but this just takes practice. I'm so used to playing without hotkeys. I mean, I've played Minecraft for so long now, and everything's been scroll. And now that you have to like micromanage every little thing to make faster time, I've been having to get used to it. So another thing is bow tie. I only recently learned how to do that, and I thought it'd be a lot harder than it is. Because I thought I had to like change the way my sensitivity is and everything, but it's been really easy. I mean, you just set the raw input and you're good. So I wish I learned that earlier. I would have had a lot of faster time back when I used to play more. And honestly, I probably should have lost this game because this guy was ahead of me the entire game, even though he reset in the overworld once, and I think right here he died, and had to reset as well because he requested to draw. My nether nav is also not that good. I need to get better at estimating where the cords are because I definitely could have just burrowed from on top of the fortress to here, but I wasn't sure how far I had to go, so I just went down instead. Didn't even save the health that I would have lost from purling either. This is another thing that I'm pretty bad at that I need to improve. I do not know what to look for in the spike. Like I've watched the tutorials and I have the practice map downloaded, but I honestly just wing it every time and I get lucky sometimes. Like this time I I mean I know like kind of what I'm doing. So I can kind of get there, but a lot of the times I'll either end up in the library or just end up somewhere bad. And I feel like most of the time the the stronghold is in a mine shaft. So like my spike's always bad anyway. I shouldn't have reset my hunger here either. I have 6 apples and that's enough for me to get back to full. So that was kind of a time loss. And then I didn't have any arrows either, which I didn't realize until here. So, couldn't really destroy any of the crystals. And at this point, it's just a waiting game. So, but yeah, if you enjoy this content, please consider leaving a like, subscribing, and commenting on any kind of feedback or anything else you want me to talk about or play. Um, I mean, the start of improving and getting better is taking feedback. So if you have anything, feel free to leave a comment. If you disagree with anything I said, go for it. Enjoy the rest of the speedrun, and I'll see you guys next time. See you.
The fire burned out, the warmth has gone away. The fire burned out, darling. is gone.